From rapper to podcaster.
I urge Jim to just continue that round. You know what I mean? Like I could see him developing these podcasts to the point where you're gonna have major companies, Spotify or whoever, or um, you know iHeartRadio, whatever, offering him tens of millions of dollars for a show. I could definitely see that big time. So regardless I hope this doesn't come off as I'm dissing Jim or anything like that, but I honestly want to be truthful when I see talent. You know what I mean? When I see talent, I definitely want to be truthful, because a lot of people, they grew up on Jim. So they grew up on Jim's rapping and all that kind of stuff, but I'm still the same thing I said before a couple months ago. Jim is nice when it comes to rapping, but he should be concentrating on fashion, because in fashion, I could see Jim being probably top 3 hip hop dudes in fashion right now. Podcasting, I could see that too, big time. Top 3, even number 1, depending you know, how like committed he wants to be, right? But rapping, I don't see that. I don't see top 10. I don't see top 20. I don't even see top 30 or 40. But that's just it's an opinion base, right? But at the same time, I believe a lot of people do feel the same way I feel, in terms of he's a good rapper, but he's not in the top 5, you know. But arguably, I challenge anybody to bring up 4 other hip hop dudes that have a better fashion sense. I argue anybody to go watch Jim's shows, go watch Jim's podcast, and honestly tell me if you could pick 4 other podcasts that are better than him. It's gonna be hard. So Jim, if you get this message, man, I have a lot of respect for you, dude. Like, big time. Not that you probably care, it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? Probably like, with the emphasis, dude, anyway, screw that, you know what I mean? I don't care what he thinks, but I have a lot of respect for you in terms of, you don't give up, dude. Like, you don't give up and you keep on going. You start off and you're not the best, but you eventually become that, you know what I mean? Or you eventually become extremely respectable. It's something that you were like nowhere near the elites of the elites, right? Zero. So, and I also seen I also realized that, I don't know what's happening with Jim and Cam, right? But Jim obviously is still rocking Diplomats clothing, right? And I could see Diplomats clothing getting back to where it used to be, even probably surpassing Rockaware. The lines are still fresh, the logos are still fresh. Hey, just keep on going, dude. No doubt, man. This is real respect, and this is real, like, a dude. I'm a nobody, but Jim is doing what he's supposed to be doing, and he found his pocket and his lane. And just as long as he sticks to that pocket and lane, it's gonna be unstoppable. Period. You got some dudes that might try to gas him and say, "Hey, man, keep on rapping." And yeah, he's Jim's not whack when he raps. You know what I mean? But he got a lot better. He's actually very, very good, but it's a little too late for rapping, just based on the age. You know what I mean? And no disrespect intended, but a lot of rappers are 50 years old. Yeah, they could definitely rap, but know, this is not the time to be the elites of the elites. This is not the time to be chasing top 10 dead or alive rapping status when you're that age, you know.